Okay, Astor, over to you, buddy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Astor de Guzman, and I'm a union electrician here at IBEW Local 269. It is an honor to be here with everyone today to witness the governor sign these two important bills. I've been a proud member of this organization for over 20 years. I have two sons, and this job has provided me with the excellent health care, and I will soon be able to retire. Being in the construction industry is difficult, as we are one of the only industries that work ourselves out of a job. This is a sense of pride when completing these projects, knowing it is providing clean, green energy and much needed power to the state of New Jersey. More power will help lower energy costs for hardworking families across New Jersey. I'd like to thank Governor Murphy and the members of the Senate and Assembly for passing this bill, which is going to give much needed energy to New Jersey while continuing to give individuals like myself the opportunity to provide for my family and build these much needed projects. It is now my pleasure to introduce Assemblyman Wayne DeAngelo.
Let's give Astor another big round of applause. He did a great job. You know, Astor is one of the many members of the building trades, and he doesn't do this on a day-to-day basis. So he's sitting over there, trying to do it as best that he can to make sure that the room is proud of the work that he has installed and continues to build, and as he works forward to re-energizing and energizing the state of New Jersey. So thank you, everyone, for coming out this it's still morning, right? This morning, yeah. And we watched the governor sign two incredible pieces of legislation, right? New Jersey needs power. New Jersey needs green energy power. Because in New Jersey right now, we only generate about 2/3 of what we use. And of that 2/3, half of it's from natural gas, and 40% are from the 3 nuclear reactors down in South Jersey, and then about 10% is from renewable power. We need more renewable energy in our portfolio. And the expansion of solar panels to continue that generation throughout the state of New Jersey, and more importantly, battery storage. Why does battery storage need to be a component of this? Why are the building trades here? Because in our inner cities, we've talked about for the past 8 years on how do we put power in the inner cities. We're going to put solar panels on a row home or on an office building. It's really tight space. We don't want to take up any of their usable open spaces in our inner cities. But in our cities, we have what? We have some empty brick buildings that the building trades can restructure them brick buildings, and we can put battery storage inside those brick buildings so that the residents of the cities can now have the opportunity to be part of the green energy initiative. So they can, just like it's in their house or on the roof of their house, they can be a part of that green initiative on generating clean, green electricity. I love the sound of it being here in IBEW Local 269, generating green energy, fantastic opportunities, but it's also going to give us the opportunity, as New Jersey invests in this, to reduce the cost for those that are a part of that. So that on the rising energy costs that are in our 13-state grid that's happening on the generation side, we can help reduce those costs for those residents. So thank you, Governor. Thank you, Senator, Assemblyman, for coming on out. Madam President, nice to see you again. Without further ado, I want to introduce the great state of New Jersey, my buddy, Governor Phil Murphy.
I just said to Wayne, that was a tour de force in terms of why we're here and all the good reasons. Ian, how are you, buddy? Hello, guys. Back row looks very sharp down there. Good morning, everybody. Thrilled to be here. I want to thank my dear friend. We just heard from Local 269's very own Assemblyman Wayne DeAngelo for that very gracious introduction, but again, for framing the reason why we're here today. Astor, you were awesome. You were awesome, buddy. Wayne said, "This is Astor. You should know he's really nervous." And you never would have known that. You did a great job. So to you and all of your fellow members of Local 269, thank you for opening your doors for this historic occasion. As the chairwoman will recall and know, we've been in this Union Hall, Anthony and Verlina and others know that very well, many times over the years, usually on election eve, Dan, as I recall, right? So it's good to be back. Quick sidebar on the weather. People ask me all the time, what surprises me most about my job over the past now almost 8 years? And it's the amount of time. The answer is the amount of time I spent on weather. I feel like I've got an honorary meteorological degree. We declared a state of emergency yesterday afternoon for a very specific reason. We've had high tides and rip currents. We lost 2 precious souls last week. Then with Hurricane Erin, bless you, we don't miss a thing up here. The level of concern in terms of going in the ocean has stayed high. Even though it's sunny out, if you're watching out there, don't go in the ocean today. It's still pretty nasty. Waves are sort of plus or minus 10 feet still on shore, plus big-time rip currents. The reason why we did the state of emergency was last night we had the matching of the highest waves, in some cases 15 feet on shore, and high tide in the 7 and 8 o'clock hour up and down the coast. Thankfully, the flooding, while it existed, while it happened, was less than we were fearing. Not surprisingly, coastal flooding was the big concern, and that's where we had any of the flooding. Cape May County probably got hit the hardest, but also Atlantic Ocean and Monmouth to some degree. Please continue to be careful. The weather's going to be gorgeous this weekend, but please be careful as it relates to going in the ocean. Christine, I think we've had very few power outages. Last I checked first thing this morning, it's like 150 in the entire state. So far, so good. Please be careful. Ready.nj.gov is the one single place I would suggest you go for any information. So back to why we're here. I think this Union Hall is an ideal venue for why we're gathering. We're coming together, as Wayne mentioned, to secure a cleaner, more affordable, most importantly, I think, and more prosperous future for all of New Jersey, and at the same time create a whole lot of good-paying union jobs. It's a future that will be hand-built first and foremost by Wayne, you, and Astor and your colleagues, thousands literally of IBEW members who call New Jersey home, our heroic electricians, line workers, utility workers, and so many more who keep our state running every single day. And in the wake of hurricanes, as I mentioned, and other natural disasters, as we've seen with far too much frequency, and as we've seen, in fact, this week, brothers and sisters from the IBEW are always prepared to spring into action at a moment's notice to restore power and repair critical infrastructure that our communities depend on. So as always, deep, deep thanks for your service. And with the legislation I'm going to sign in a few minutes, we're going to put your members to work, as well as the members of the Building Trades Council, so we can build new sources of energy as quickly as humanly possible, and in the process lower energy costs for every household in New Jersey. I mentioned the Building Trades Council. In addition to IBEW, we've got representatives from the Teamsters, sheet metal workers, insulators, bricklayers, carpenters, and laborers at a minimum here. Ladies and gentlemen, deep thanks for everything you do as well. And while there are lots of pieces at play here with this legislation, here's what I think is the key takeaway for folks watching at home. With these 2 bills that I will sign shortly, we will nearly double New Jersey's capacity to deliver affordable, reliable, and renewable energy to households literally up and down our state by the end of this decade. And let me put this in real terms, particularly when it comes to one of the most dependable and cheapest sources of energy of all, which is solar. Today, there are roughly 650,000 homes throughout the Garden State that are powered by solar energy. With these bills, we're going to increase that number to 1 million homes by 2028. That's an increase of over 50% in just 3 years. That means cheaper, cleaner energy for tens of thousands of New Jerseyans at a faster pace than ever before, period. So this legislation is a huge win across the board. And given the skyrocketing cost of energy, not just in New Jersey, but throughout our region, it is a victory that could not come a moment too soon. So I want to thank everyone who helped get these bills across the finish line, starting with Senator Bob Smith, who we're going to hear from in a few moments. His colleagues, not with us today, unless they snuck in when I wasn't looking, John Berzicelli, Vin Gopal, John McKeon, along with Assembly members, Wayne D'Angelo, who we've heard from, thank you again for hosting us, and his colleagues in the Assembly, including, again, some folks who aren't with us today, Dave Bailey, Kevin Egan, Luann Peter-Paul, Margie Donnellan, Rob Karabinchak. Got to be able to say Karabinchak or you can't go in Middlesex County. We're also joined by Verlina Reynolds-Jackson, Anthony Varelli of this district representing. Deep thanks for that. And we'll hear from Rob Karabinchak representing his colleagues in the Assembly. I also want to thank Senate President Nick Scutari and Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin in absentia for helping get this legislation to my desk. I also want to thank the President. We'll hear from her, of the board, New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, Christine Gould-Sadovi, for her unwavering commitment to lowering energy costs for the people we serve. We're also graced by County Executive Dan Benson, former member of the Assembly, a guy who was all over clean energy, East Windsor Mayor and Chairwoman for Mercer County, Janice Mironoff. Great to have you with us, Mayor. Patricia Hendricks Farmer. Patricia, you're right here in the end. Nice to see you, Mayor of Lawrence Township. And I want to give a shout out in absentia to a guy who's not here because his dad passed, and the funeral is right after this, Joe Kelly, who was incredibly instrumental in helping us get the solar piece of this over the goal line. I see Kevin coming in the back. Nice to see you, man. One of our administration's proudest accomplishments over the past now almost 8 years has been making it easier to build new sources of energy all across New Jersey. Look no further than the progress we've made in establishing the Garden State as a global leader in solar. As part of our commitment to running New Jersey on 100% clean energy by the year 2035, we have doubled our state's installed solar capacity since 2018. And by the way, at the same time, not only creating good-paying, overwhelmingly union jobs, but helping tens of thousands of our neighbors power their homes with locally sourced energy. And with this legislation, we're going to once again dramatically increase our state's installed solar capacity before the next governor leaves office. That means over the course of a single decade, we will have nearly quadrupled the amount of solar power we can generate in New Jersey. But let's be clear, establishing New Jersey as a leader in solar is not just about doing the right thing by our planet by reducing carbon emissions, which it clearly is. It is about doing right by our state's families who are being crushed by their monthly electric bills. The fact is the people of New Jersey and throughout our region more broadly deserve immediate financial relief. That is exactly why earlier this summer, our administration delivered more than $430 million in direct relief to the people of New Jersey by reducing, at a minimum, $100 from every household's energy bill. But if we really want to rein in energy costs in the long term, there's only one really true solution, and that is by vastly accelerating the process for building new sources of energy. And when it comes to deploying new sources of energy fast, there are no better options than solar and storage. So as part of our efforts to get new sources of energy up and running as quickly as possible, the legislation I'm signing today, bless you, will accomplish two things. First, it will dramatically expand New Jersey's nation-leading community solar program. Right now, about 30,000 households participate in community solar, and that's enabled them to save an average of about 25% on their monthly energy bills by connecting their homes to a local solar installation. And again, for those of you who aren't familiar with community solar, it's the situation, Wayne kind of alluded to this, where you actually can't, you're living in a multifamily or a high-rise of some sort, you can't hang a solar panel out your window, but you can plug in to a what I would call a collective that the neighborhood can essentially feed on. So with the steps we're taking today, we're going to get more shovels in the ground and build new installations that will allow over 100,000 additional households to participate in community solar by the end of this decade. That means cheaper, cleaner, and more reliable energy for tens of thousands of our neighbors, not 10 years from now, but literally measured in months from now. Secondly, with this legislation, we're also moving at full speed to deploy an entirely new form of energy, storage, or in more technical terms, grid-scale battery storage. For the first time in our state's history, we will be, as Wayne mentioned, repurposing outdated facilities, including things like coal plants, and building entirely new ones to store excess energy from our region's grid. That excess energy will then be delivered into homes across our state, which is absolutely essential for meeting growing demand. Put simply, this is about collecting and storing energy when prices and demand are low and releasing them when demand and prices and the grid is under stress when they are high. We expect the first of these facilities will break ground as soon as next year, helping establish New Jersey as a leading state for storage. We think, Christine can correct me if I'm wrong, we think ourselves, New York State, maybe one other state in the nation, will be the leading states as it relates to actually doing something about energy storage. So from solar to storage, this accelerated pace of deployment reflects one of the most important aspects of these pieces of legislation. It will cut through the red tape so we can deliver real, meaningful financial relief to our neighbors being battered by the cost of energy. They've been waiting for solutions for far too long. The sad truth is right now the people of New Jersey are being failed by our regional grid operator, PJM, as well as the federal government. They have given us nothing but excuses. In fact, at the very moment, PJM is inexplicably dragging its feet when it comes to deploying new sources of energy. Right now, I think there are 79 projects in New Jersey that are in the queue that they've not greenlit, and dozens of them are shovel-ready solar projects that could power literally tens of thousands of homes. Every single one of those projects is ready to get moving, but they are still waiting for approval by PJM. At the same time, our neighbors are also being failed by the federal administration, which is making it more expensive to build solar installations all across the country. I cannot fathom, honestly, why the administration is raising taxes on the most reliable and cheapest form of energy on the planet, but that is exactly what their budget bill will do, and it is only going to increase costs for our nation's families instead of lowering them. The people of America and New Jersey deserve better because they are literally paying the price for years of inaction, whether it be at the federal level or at PJM. And this is frankly, Christine and I were having a little meeting before we came in here. This is not that complicated. This is supply and demand. Demand is high right now in New Jersey, largely for good reasons. We have more people living here than ever before, more people employed as of July than ever before, more businesses in operation in New Jersey today than ever before. June was the all-time high month on new business creation in our state's history. All of that's really good. The problem that goes with that is that there's a responsibility to meet a lot of different demands: affordable housing, seats in schools, roads and transit that works, and that you have enough energy. And when you've got a supply-demand imbalance, the last thing you should be doing is either choking the next round of supply or taking it literally off the table, as has been done at least temporarily with offshore wind. That's 11.5 gigawatts of offshore wind in our program. That's enough to power 1.5 million homes in New Jersey. Again, I beg the administration in Washington, we will continue to pound away at PJM. We need more supply. And by the way, there's plenty of clean energy supply. We're out of the coal business forever. But are we open-minded to basically everything else? You betcha. As long as it's clean and we can manage it responsibly, we need more supply. That's what we're doing today. I hope the federal government, I hope PJM joins us in that endeavor. So, again, here in New Jersey, we're not going to wait for anyone to come for the rescue. We're taking matters into our own hands with the legislation. We're going to lower energy costs for our neighbors, create good-paying jobs for our state workers, overwhelmingly union jobs for many years to come. Together, we're creating a more affordable, more reliable, and more sustainable New Jersey. And in doing so, we're proving that we do not need to wait for the future. We can build that future ourselves. We can build it with the help of some of the most talented workers in the entire world, members of Local 269 and fellow brothers and sisters in the trades, with the support of our outstanding leaders in the legislature, and by harnessing the most powerful resource of all, the mighty sun. So to each and every one of you, I thank you for your leadership. With that, it is now my pleasure to introduce the President of the Board of Public Utilities, an outstanding leader in her own right, Christine Gould-Sadovi.
Thanks, Governor. Thank you so much. I am using my phone here, which is a new thing for me to read off of, so bear with me if you could. Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be here today. Thank you, Governor Murphy, for your leadership, and to our legislators who are here today for your leadership, and of course, our host, IBEW. I first want to just acknowledge the BPU staff who are here with us today, who have been tirelessly working on initiatives like community solar and battery storage, which help to bring new clean electricity online. So if you could just raise your hand so everybody can see you, the amazing, hardworking staff of the BPU. We couldn't do all of these things that we have been doing under the governor's leadership at the BPU without the incredible staff. The bills the governor is signing today will continue with those efforts, as we know that energy costs have gone up and we need more energy online as fast as we can get it. This is not a unique situation for New Jersey, as the governor mentioned. In fact, it's true throughout most of the country, and especially in this region in PJM. Our neighbors in Pennsylvania, over in Ohio, are also experiencing these energy cost increases. According to the PJM long-term load forecast, electricity demand within our region is expected to significantly increase, with a projected growth of nearly 40% in the next 14 years. That means an additional 10,000 megawatts of demand by 2030 compared to previous forecasts. Bringing on the additional 3,000 megawatts of community solar and securing a commitment to our energy storage goals will make sure that New Jersey continues to be part of the solution to the growing demand. It's core to the mission of the BPU that we address rising energy demand and costs. And as we deliberate as to how to get more energy flowing and more quickly, we know that we should be constructing the energy sources that we should be constructing are the cheapest and fastest to build, and that is solar and storage. They also happen to be the cleanest and the safest. We've been building solar in New Jersey for over 20 years. And in the last 7 years, we have kicked that into high gear by more than doubling the amount of installed solar capacity in the state to over 5 gigawatts. The growth of the New Jersey solar industry has helped reduce the cost to build solar infrastructure by over 50%. Which has helped us at the BPU dramatically reduce incentives while maintaining this key economic driver for our state. And of our more than 5 gigawatts of solar, a growing share of that is from community solar. As the governor mentioned, it allows residents who don't or can't have a solar project on their roof to enjoy the cost-saving benefits of clean energy generated here in the state of New Jersey. Over 28,000 New Jersey residents are subscribed and are saving money through the community solar program due to the guaranteed bill savings of at least 15%. There's been such a high demand for projects to build in this program. In the 3 rounds of allocations totaling 750 megawatts, more than 450 projects have registered. That's $37 million in total bill credits given back to subscribers already. And with solar comes storage. We're generating all this new clean energy on days like today, and we need some place to store it. This bill supports the BPU's Garden State Energy Storage Program, which opened phase 1 in June, to procure 1,000 megawatts of grid-scale storage and ensure New Jersey will continue on the path to meeting our energy storage goals. The Garden State Energy Storage Program has the clear priority of creating a more reliable and robust grid, ultimately leading to greater cost savings for everyone. By strategically investing in energy storage now, we're enhancing the resiliency of our grid to withstand both man-made and weather-related disruptions and support the critical integration of the clean energy we're continuing to generate. I'd like to close with what I think is the most important point. The choice between clean energy and lower costs is a false choice. New Jersey can have both clean energy and keep electricity bills in check while supporting economic growth and good-paying jobs here in the Garden State. And these actions, the governor's signing of these bills, are just one more step in that direction. So thank you again, Governor, for your leadership. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. And I think I'm turning it over to Senator Smith, who has given the BPU no shortage of work over his time. So it's great to be able to do that. Thank you. Thank you.
Is this a great day for New Jersey or what? A really great day. And we're setting the pace for other states, as the governor mentioned. We're going to be one of the 3 major states doing battery storage as a part of their energy management system. All kudos to the governor for being so farsighted. All kudos to the BPU for making this program work. It's so nice to say our storage program is not Yards Creek. It's a much bigger approach to our problem. I'm in an IBEW hall, which is a great place to be. Whether you know it or not, your union has been renamed. It started back at the nuclear power plants with Senator Sweeney. We were announcing the ZEX program in order to keep the nukes open. And at that time, the IBEW was renamed the International Brotherhood of Environmental Warriors. What do you think? And the truth of the matter is, if we're going to have a chance to survive as a species, it's the IBEW and all the associated trades that are going to make it happen. We have to dramatically change what we're doing in energy in order to stand a chance. And I'm not going to say the 15,000-acre fire in South Jersey was a direct response to global warming. I'm not going to say that the bad air from Canada burning down, is global warming. I'm not saying that all the flood damage that's been done in the last few years is a response to global warming. I'm not going to talk about the 29 citizens who died when that freak storm came up from Louisiana about 3 years ago. But this is an administration and a regulatory body that is trying to do its best to lower the temperature. And you see it every day. I have a shore house, thank God, because it keeps me alive. It's nice and cool. And being near the ocean is a wonderful thing. It's going to be more wonderful now that we're going to have battery storage as a big program. As the governor, I think, mentioned, or Christine mentioned, we're talking about 1,000 megs of new capacity in New Jersey. That's no small accomplishment. All right, it makes a big deal. And as the guys and gals in the trade know, what this is all about is taking the hard edges off of our electrical structure. The hard edges are when there's peak demand, like some of those 100-degree days that we've had in New Jersey this year, so you don't have to turn on what are called the peaker plants. Because when you turn on a peaker plant, you no longer have pockets. The money has been sucked out at a rate that's impossible to imagine. We're going to start to mitigate that with the 1,000 megs of new capacity. We also, the governor and Christine were brilliant in that this money is not money that's being added to the rates of ratepayers. You don't want the solution to be part of the aggravation to our citizens. We have a minimum of a $60 million program that's coming out of societal benefits. That fund was always supposed to be used to help mitigate and improve our grid and improve our electrical system. So no rate increase due to the battery program. I think it also will have the impact of stabilizing rates. I don't know if we're going to still be in PJM next year or the year after, but if this isn't a shot across their bow, I don't know what is. They've treated New Jersey and many of the other states very shabbily in the way in which they've concocted these rate increases. And the rate increases on their own are not enough to incentivize new electrical generation. You don't see anybody jumping up saying, I'm building a new plant. So we're paying for something that may not even exist. We're not even sure that AI is going to locate in New Jersey, or that they're not going to bring their own electricity or help improve our grid to make it work. So everything considered, and then you add the cherry on the sundae, union jobs. This is a state where we have entrusted our laborers, unions, and employees to do the job. And you know what? You haven't failed us. You do. I have heard companies talk to me, and this is data centers, not AI data centers, but say to me they would never go into New Jersey if they didn't have the talent that we have. And that's you guys and gals. So we're a great state. We're trying to make it more resilient, keep the rates as low as we can, and we're doing a hell of a job, I think. Community solar, it's the mouse that roared. It started like this big, and now we're seeing the great impact it has on providing solar energy to so many people who need that energy and are not in a position to actually acquire it geographically, or in terms of where they live. So I commend the sponsors of that legislation today. They did a magnificent job. So all in all, and I don't want you to jump out of your chair, you should be jumping for joy. This is a really good thing, and I congratulate the governor's administration and the BPU for a wonderful job. Legislature, we're along for the ride just to make sure they don't get crazy, but they did a hell of a job for all of us. So let's hear it for the governor and the BPU.
The last words, Bob, I'm ever going to associate with you are along for the ride. But in all seriousness, we haven't done one meaningful energy bill, program, step forward that wasn't with Bob Smith, literally every step of the way, Bob. So huge thanks to you and your colleagues in the Senate. I mentioned an all-star lineup, not just from the Senate, but also from the Assembly, and speaking on their behalf, another outstanding leader. Please help me welcome from the 18th Legislative District, Assemblyman Rob Karabinchak.
So I have a long speech, but I'm going to cut it down to about 45 minutes. No, really, really. Thank you. Well, first of all, it's an honor to be here in, I'm going to say Wayne's house, Local 269. As a union carpenter, this just brings home so many memories. I'm here speaking for the Assembly about S4530, which is changing the limit for solar to 3,000 megawatts. With the help of BPU and the governor's vision here, this is what legislation is all about. We're here to help the community. We saw the deficiencies, not what we created, but what we have to live with. So we're changing and maneuvering to make it better for all of our taxpayers and energy users in the state of New Jersey. I'm actually proud to be talking about this and be part of this change. And there's more coming. You look at the opportunities on the work side for good union skilled labor here, and that result helps all of our people who live in our neighborhoods that will be able to tie into our community solar to help reduce their energy bills. It's as simple as that. And this vision that the governor has in BPU and the Senate and the Assembly all together see that this is the quickest way to get those results to our people, to our constituents. That's what this is about. There's way more that's going to happen. And we look at the generation, how much need we have, as Wayne was saying, and as the governor was saying, as Christine was saying, there's more. So we have more work to do, which is fine. But for now, these community solar projects would absolutely avoid cost issues that are created by, as the governor said, PJM. I hate blaming everything on PJM, unfortunately, but it is an issue that we had no control of, but we have to live with. And I want to thank the governor for signing that bill to allow us as a legislative body and the governor to be able to talk to other states and to possibly remove ourselves from PJM, but to have the conversations and to put more people on that board so we see what they're even doing. Transparency is paramount here. We want to make sure that every single person, every business in this great state of New Jersey is taken care of. And this is a big first step, showing how much we care for everybody in the state. And I thank the governor for signing these bills, because this collaboration of solar and battery storage is going to set New Jersey in a path in the future for all of our energy needs, plus more coming. And thank you for doing this, Governor, and thank you for listening to me. And I cut it down from 45 minutes to, I think, 3. So thank you.
Cutting it down, another reason why we love you, Rob. Deep thanks, Rob, again to you and your colleagues in the Assembly, Bob, to you and your colleagues in the Senate. I also want to I saw Sean Keegan was here somewhere. Did he leave? He left. He was part of he came in and gave me a real lesson in why we should dramatically expand community solar. So I want to thank him in absentia. I want to thank again Astor and Wayne and colleagues for hosting us so graciously. Christine, thank you for your leadership, and Bob and Rob for your very strong words and for your leadership and your colleagues' leadership. As they say in Hollywood, it's a wrap. Let's sign this sucker. Marcella, the extras in here? Let's go, buddy. I was giving you a shout out. I was saying your name as you were walking. I will be there. Okay, I'm going to do the money shot, which hi there. Hi.
How are you?
We're all cozy up here. I'm going to do. I can't see a thing, but I'm told that people want me to do the money shot without my glasses. My hairdresser. We good? Okay. Now I can see what I'm doing. I'm also going to ad-lib here, so if I screw anybody up in terms of skipping them, I'm going to do this in the order that I've been given here. So we're going to do energy storage first, which is Assembly Bill 5267, sponsored by the aforementioned, our host, Wayne D'Angelo. Also, I mentioned him in absentia. Dave Bailey, Kevin Egan is with us. In the Senate, Bob Smith, John Berzicelli. And the synopsis is requires BPU to procure and incentivize transmission scale energy storage. Again, puts us in a level. Joe Egan's in the house. Nice to see you, Joe. How are you, man? Puts us into the top rung of, I think, probably 3 states in America who are pursuing energy storage at the level we are, which is something I think we can all be proud of. And as Senator Smith said, it's 1,000 megawatts, so this is not a rounding error. So for all those reasons, it's a big deal. So here we go. The first pen goes to our host, Assemblyman Chairman Wayne D'Angelo. Thank you all. His colleague, who was so compelling in his introductory remarks, Astor de Guzman. him a great leader, Senator Bob Smith. Martell, can we get these? Hey, Wyatt, how are you? To folks who are not here, is that all right? Yes. Okay, so this one, I mentioned him. He wanted to be here today, I know, to Senator John Bersacelli from District 3. We've got with us Katie Metal, who's principal from Advanced Energy United. Katie. Congratulations. Well done. And we're going to throw a couple of elected officials into this one. From Lawrence Township, Mayor Patricia Hendricks Farmer, who I mentioned earlier. Great to have you, Mayor. While we're at it, I'm going to throw one over to Great County Executive Dan Benson. Come on, Dan. Can't stand for 1 second. Please hand this one off to another great mayor from East Windsor, Mayor Janice Mironoff. Okay. Bear with me. Kevin Egan, you're here, right? Yeah, right behind. Still behind me? Let's give this one to you. Let's hear it for Assemblyman Kevin Egan. I'm also going to give this one to Verlena Reynolds Jackson, who's with us, Assemblywoman. I'm going to get you on the next one. Is that all right? All right. Love it. I got to remember that, though. Okay, so this bill, A5267, expanding energy storage in New Jersey. This is now the law of the land, and it's effective immediately. Well done, everybody. Next one up, the Senate Bill 4530, sponsored by Vin Gopal and John McKeon in the Senate, Luann Peter-Paul, Margie Donnellan, and the aforementioned, we heard from him, Rob Karavinchik in the Assembly, requires BPU to revise community solar program targets. That is such a bland, this explodes their targets from, I think, about 150 megawatts a year to about, on average, 750 megawatts a year, right? So it's about a 5x increase in the targets for community solar, which is a big, as Joe Biden once said, a big deal. We'll leave it at that. Oh, Verlene, I gave you on the wrong bill, but you still owe me, I hope. First pen to Rob Karavinchik. Rob, congratulations. I introduced him earlier. Let's hear it for Assemblyman Anthony Varelli. Hey. The President of the Board of Public Utilities, Christine Gould-Sadobi. From the Sierra Club, its director, Anjali Ramos Buson. Anjali, you here? I'm here. Right beside you. Congratulations. I've got Charlie Coggeshall. You here, Charlie? I am. Our son, one of our sons' name is Charlie, so you're on a mountain in the Hall of Fame. Charlie is the Mid-Atlantic Regional Director for Coalition for Community Solar Access. Congratulations. And I'm going to, there are lots of friends in the audience, and particularly there are a sea of some of the folks who I go back from. Dave Fred is here, Wyatt, others. This pen I'm giving to the dean of this group, Joe Egan. Very good to have you, man. Love you, pal. Summer's well. I wish the weather were a little bit more predictable. With that, this bill, Senate 4530, expanding community solar, is now the law of the land. We have just said, as Bob Smith, this is a big deal day in New Jersey to lower energy costs for our consumers and to expand supply in a responsible, clean way. Huge day. Congratulations to everybody, and thank you. Don't lose these. That's all, folks. Well done, everybody. Thank you.
Dude, my knee is killing me. They said it's either something like that, or he's like, "What do you do for a living?" I'm like, "I've been a photographer." He's like, "How did you do it?" I'm like, "I've been a photographer." I'm like, "Oh, you guys are in here all the time."